Morning, children. This video is a continuation of chapter 1, glows, maps and diagrams. Today I am going to discuss a topic, map based on scale. So there are two types of maps which are based on scale. Now last time only I taught you what is a scale. Scale is a ratio between the map distance and the ground distance, which I have explained you in the previous video lessons. Okay, so today we are going to study small scale maps and large scale maps. There are two types of maps which are based on this scale. So a map which shows a large area like the political map, like the physical map, okay, on a small piece of paper shows very less detail. So here you come to know that when a map shows a large area, it shows less detail. But when a map shows a small area here, it shows more detail, like the maps, like the topographical maps, which I'll explain you, okay, in this class only. Now, small scale maps are used to show large areas like maps in the atlas. So if you open your book or collection of map called atlas, okay, you'll find world maps, you'll find continent maps, that is land maps and country maps. You'll even find state maps there. You will even find political maps as well as physical maps of India or of various countries. You also find mineral maps and agricultural maps. This falls into the category of small scale maps because they show a large area, but they are basically showing less detail. They are not showing natural features or man-made features in that particular map. They only show either natural features or either political features. So the map which shows all these features are called large scale maps. The map which shows less detail of these features are called small scale maps. So if you look here, large scale maps are used to show minute features. Minute features means they show a small area but in detail. And if you see these minute features, they are both natural features, means natural features are not made by man, like mountains, plains, valleys, rivers and so on. Even the water bodies, even the valleys, even the mountains are not made by man. Okay, so these are called natural features or physical features of the earth. Okay, so we are talking about physical maps. So this map basically shows physical features as well as man-made features like trees, sand dunes, roads are man-made, bridges are man-made, post office are man-made, huts are man-made. Huts means houses, like permanent houses and temporary houses, like neighborhoods, towns and small areas which are shown in a particular map. This map is called a topographical map. Now, topographical map shows physical features, political features as well as socio-cultural features of any area on a same map. So, if you compare these two maps, you find, okay, this map shows less detail because not all these things are mentioned in this map or shown in this map. Therefore, the map which shows all these features, that is natural, man-made and socio-cultural features, are large-scale map. And the map which I am talking about is known as topographical map. Political and physical map or thematic map falls under the small-scale map. Even the world map, even the atlas falls into the category of small-scale map because it shows less detail. It does not show towns, it does not show, okay, neighborhood, it does not show trees, etc. in this particular map. The larger the area covered by a map, the smaller its scale. Now, this point you have to understand. Small scale map has small scale. So, what is the scale here? 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometer. 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometer. That means 1 centimeter on the map represents 100 kilometers on the ground. So, this is the map distance, this is the ground distance or the earth distance. Now compare this scale. The smaller the area covered by the map, the larger its scale. Now if you look at this and compare this, large scale map has large scale. So 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. So 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. So 1 centimeter on the map represents 1 kilometer on the ground. That means 1 centimeter is the map distance and 1 kilometer is the ground distance or the earth distance. So these are the difference between the large scale map and a small scale map. And if you want to look at the particular map in a book on page number 11, you find a topographical map. Here, if you look at the topographical map, it shows various landforms, physical features as well as political features, as well as man-made features and socio-cultural features. But if you look at page number 10, you have a small scale map. It shows a particular map. It shows a political division of the country, or political map of the country. It shows only political features. So this comes under the small scale map. But if you look here also you have a large scale map. So all the roads, all the places, all the buildings are named in this map. So this becomes a large scale map. Now we are moving on to topographical maps. So topographical map is a map which is based on scale, because it is a large scale map. So what is a topographical map? That time only I told you the definition of the topographical map. A topographical map is a large scale map which represents physical features. Now whenever we are talking about physical features, topographical map shows physical features. So I'm running this one. It's a map based on scale only. So what is a topo? Topographical. Topo means an area, which is used to describe in a topographical map. So we are doing topographical maps. So topographical maps shows physical features. Physical features are like relief features of the map, like physical features which is not made by man, that is mountains, plains, plateaus, and so on. So I'm writing MTS, mountains, plains, plateaus, etc. Are shown on a map. Plateaus, valleys, then even water bodies are shown. What is water bodies? Water bodies are basically hydrosphere, like rivers, oceans, lakes, streams, etc. are shown in this map. Then it shows not only physical features, it also shows political features. Political features means political unit. We are talking about administrative boundaries. Political features are also shown in a topographical map. So what is administrative boundaries? ADMINISTRATIV. Administrative boundaries are shown. So we are talking about national boundaries, state boundaries, as well as international boundaries. Not only in the political feature it is shown these boundaries only, it is also shown the state-wise distribution of boundaries. So states are mentioned there, and you have states, country, capital city are shown in this particular map. So all these things are basically shown. So administrative boundaries are also shown. So when I'm talking about administrative boundaries, it is state boundaries, tehsil boundaries, district boundaries, so then national boundaries, then international boundaries are shown. Like let's take for example, this is Bihar. So this area is the boundary of Bihar. This boundary is called a border area of Bihar. So it is separated by a boundary. Now third is socio-cultural features. Socio-cultural features are also shown in a topographical map. So what are socio-cultural features? This is man-made features. There's might be road, bridges, then buildings, airports, railways, names of places, and geographical features are also shown. Now when I am coming to the geographical features, we are studying about the diagrams. All these features are shown on this map with the help of a diagram. This diagram is known as a geographical feature. In the map, we are able to study the map with the help of a diagram. You have learned about globes, you have learned about plants, you have learned about maps in the previous classes. But this huge figures, okay, like mountains, plains, plateaus are basically represented on a map with the help of a diagram, okay. So these diagrams, okay, basically helps us to understand a particular map, okay, with the help of symbols and signs. The symbols and signs are called conventional signs and symbols. Now we are moving on to representation of, okay, folded and faulted, okay, landforms. So in the smaller classes, we have learned about atmosphere, we have learned about lithosphere, we have learned about, okay, hydrosphere. Today we are going to learn about, okay, lithosphere, that is land. Children, as you know that you might have traveled to various places in our country. And when you travel to these places, you might have noticed various landforms or different landforms at different places. When you go to the plain areas, in the plain areas, what kind of landform do you find? You find flat lands, no? Or lowlands. They are also called lowlands. But when you come to the Kalimpong, you find what kind of landform do you find? When you come to Kalimpong, what kind of landform do you find? You find hills, okay? Hills and mountains. Isn't that so? So at some places you find the land is flat, at some places you find there are hills and mountains. So how this landform was created, or how this landform was born? These landforms were born by two forces, okay? These forces are known as okay, internal forces and, okay, external forces. Internal forces are also called endogenous, G-E-N-O-U-N-O-U-S, genus, or endogenic forces. Whereas external forces are also known as exogenous, okay, or exogenic forces. These forces are the forces which shape the landforms of the earth. They make the mountains, they are the mountain building forces. They create landforms, they create mountains, plains, plateaus, and so on. Okay? So, one thing you have to understand is so all these processes or forces, okay, so all these forces are also called processes, okay, P-R-O-C-E-S-S-E-S, processes, okay, that move, E-L-E-V-A-T, elevate means raise the surface of the earth, okay, or build, B-U-I-L-D, build, okay, B-U-I-L-D, build up our lands on the surface of the earth are called, okay, or comes under DIAS, dystrophism, which is also known as tectonic processes. Now you can see here. So all these forces which basically move and make our landforms or elevate or raise our landforms or build our landforms on the surface of the earth comes under one process. That process is known as diastrophism, which is also known as tectonic processes. Okay. Now, actually, in the smaller classes, you might have learnt about the crust, the core, the mantle, etc. Now, let's make an earth, okay? Let's make the earth. Now, this is the inner core. This is the inner core. This is the outer core. Okay, this is the outer core. This is the mantle. And this is the crust. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the crust. Crust means the surface of the earth. Actually, our earth crust, that is the surface of the earth on which we live and build houses, okay, is not a continuous land. It's not a continuous layer. So, our earth is not made of a solid land. It is made of, okay, parts and parts of land. It is made of parts and parts of land, like a football, okay, you have, okay, parts, like parts of land. There are how many parts? There are 15 parts, okay. There are 15 parts which makes our land, both water land, okay, that is water bodies, and basically land mass makes our land. Inside the water also you find land, okay. So, it is made of 15 plates or 15 parts, okay, which holds all the continents of the world and water bodies of the earth together. There are around 15 parts, or it is also called plates, okay, which are called tectonic plates. Tectonic plates, remember that, tectonic plates. And these tectonic plates are found where? On the surface of the earth. On this surface of the earth, which slowly moves on the mantle, this surface. On the surface of the earth, you find tectonic plates which move when the mantle moves. Mantle is a, okay, basically, okay, in a, so, okay, liquid state. Is a hot, okay, what we call liquid state, which basically moves. When it moves, then we feel earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, okay, tsunami, etc. As well as we find mountain building forces which basically acts, okay, in different ways, horizontal way as well as vertical ways. So when they move, rise above the ground, they start to create landforms such as hills, mountains, valleys, plateaus, and so on. So as you know that when the tectonic plates move, they basically creates landforms, and this creation is due to the endogenic forces and the exogenic forces. But landforms like mountains or valleys, okay, plateaus are created by endogenic forces, okay. These forces which we will study in the next class in more detail, and this is known as diastrophism, okay. Hope you find this lesson useful. Thank you for listening.